I am joined now by 49ers president Al Guido. I think I need to make a disclosure here. I don't hide it, but yes, I am a very big 49ers fan. So now that you know that, I feel we can move forward with the interview in fairness. Thanks, Al, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Look, could there be a more miserable Super Bowl than the Eagles against the Chiefs for a 49ers fan?
Yeah, it's a tough one for sure. Not honestly, not because it's just for us not being in it. We've had such a good run, 4 out of the last 6 NFC title games. Of course, last year being in the Super Bowl. So to have the year we had with a lot of injuries and not be here, but credit goes to the Chiefs and the Eagles, 2 really good teams. I'm excited to watch the game on Sunday. It took me a while to get there, but I look forward to getting in the building on Sunday and watching it.
I feel like last year's mantra for the 49ers was all about running it back. He got so close. And then this year to go, despite all the injuries, of course, to go 6-11. Has that changed? Is the thinking now organizationally like, look, we got to make some changes here?
Look, every year it changes in the National Football League. I think it's just part of the course, right? But I have a ton of faith in Kyle Shanahan, ton of faith in John Lynch. Our ownership group under the leadership of Jed York is phenomenal. We have a lot to build on. We have a lot of good players in that locker room now. They're hungry, walking out. They understood what it felt like to not make the playoffs and not be in the dance. And I can see it within the building. Walking around now, seeing the guys doing the workouts, rehabbing. There's a fire. And to know that we have a Super Bowl in our building next year, Super Bowl 60, it gives them even more to kind of start, you want to play in that Super Bowl in your host venue in the Bay.
How soon are the 49ers going to sign Brock Purdy?
Look, Brock's a fantastic guy, and I know I have the utmost faith in John and Kyle. I know everyone's talking about it, and I'm sure it'll get itself worked out.
There's a lot of talk this week, I feel, about adding another week to the season, an 18th week. Is this something that you've talked to Jed about organizationally? Are you guys in favor of that? Have you talked to the players at all about the concept?
I personally have not spoken to the players about it. I have spoken to Jed about it. I certainly spoke to our business side about it. The city, there's a lot of parts, right, around the potential extension of the schedule. And even before we even got to the 18-2, even in 17-3, there's been discussions around moving the Super Bowl back and what that might look like. Look, I think Roger said it well, and I know the PA, there's a lot to talk about, whether it's, the next media rights, whether it's 18-2, whether it's the globalization of the game. There's a lot of good topics. What I'm thrilled about is we're building from a power of strength in the National Football League. I would argue it's never been stronger. The stars, the media, the eyeballs, the global nature, the flag football in the Olympics. There's just so many good talking points that when you have something that powerful and that good, my assumption is we're all going to get to a better spot in the future.
You wear a number of different hats. I want to talk about some of them. The 49ers group, the business, also owns Leeds, and I'm curious from a business standpoint, because Leeds has sort of gone back and forth between Premier League and not. How does the business change whether or not Leeds is in Premier League or not?
Well, for Leeds, it changes quite a bit. I'm sure your network covers this a lot, right? You're right. We were in the Premier League. We went down. You get parachute payments, which is the media value of the EPL, which gives you kind of a, I don't want to say an upper hand, but it gives you, a different economic structure than the rest of the championship teams. Right now we're top of the table. There's a lot of season left to be played, but it's a huge financial advantage to get put back up into the Premier League. From a 49ers perspective, and if you looked at some of the way these other teams have built, we really look at it as a portfolio business, right? Where our brands, our sponsors, our fans are actually cheering for both. And right now in the NFL world, a couple years ago when they did the Global Markets program, now that the 49ers have a chance to monetize our IP in London, in Mexico, in new markets, having boots on the ground that actually understand how those local markets operate, understand how brands and fans, engage with a team is super beneficial. And I don't want to speak for Prague Marate, who in my opinion is one of the best from a financial salary cap perspective in the National Football League. Having him dig his teeth into how global football works, alongside of getting better on the health, performance, and safety of our 49ers has been extraordinary as like how we learn about making sure the 49ers are better and that Leeds United is better.
Are there particular things he's picked up that you haven't utilized in the past? Because the 49ers health was not good this past season. Are there certain changes that are coming?
I mean, inherently, the two games are entirely different, right? And so there's a physicality to the NFL, not that there's not in the Premier League, but there's definitely fewer injuries in the Premier League or the championship than there would be in the National Football League. That's just reality. We were on a text thread this morning about how AI is starting to influence a lot of the player science. And so, call it 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when Billy Beane or the Oakland A's talked about all the metrics around baseball, that is now advancing even in the scouting community. And global football is really hard to scout. Imagine, right, in the NFL, we're looking at generally the population of mostly, call it Division I football players. And of course, there's the D3 guys that sneak their way in, the free agents, the global. The world of global soccer, you could grow up anywhere and actually get on an English Premier League team. And so what are you thinking about from an advanced statistics perspective to your scouting department to how you use AI for all the different metrics that go into defining what a good player looks like? And look, to steal your Brock, Brock being the last pick in the draft, but there was actually a lot of athletic traits that if you looked at him from just a straight Excel file, would have put him in the top category from a draft pick perspective. And so how do you marry the art of watching and the science behind all of this is fascinating.
Right, it's his, what is it, like the 10-yard split?
Yeah, the cone split.
The cone split, yeah.
The 10-yard, yeah.
Right.
And so he's got short area burst, right? Or in some sports they call it quick twitch. Right? So there's guys that have straight line speed. There's guys that they're fast in a phone booth, as they call it.
Right.
And so a lot of these traits lead into, depending upon how you want to build your team. And Brock was just a great fit for us, and it just helps, obviously, that he's a tremendous leader, too. But I do think the evolution and using what, your obviously network covers this a lot, what's happening in the broader economic environment or the world certainly relates on the football field or on the soccer field.
And I know there's some other initiatives that you're here on Radio Row to promote, correct?
Well, listen, I think two big initiatives, so I appreciate you giving me the time. Levi's Stadium hosting Super Bowl 60, so it's really nice to be able to be here, to learn what happens in New Orleans and get the keys to Super Bowl 60 is really cool. And the fact that we're going to be hosting a World Cup in that same year. It'll be the only time in history a venue has hosted a Super Bowl and a World Cup in the same year. On the other side of my ledger, you're right. I'm the CEO of an agency called Elevate, global agency that works on behalf of a lot of rights holders, teams, leagues, brands. We have a hospitality house here called the Ellie, and so we've having a lot of fun hosting a lot of different people. The Super Bowl is the best place to be, as you already know, and so thank you very much for the platform to talk about it.
Certainly hope the 49ers are in that Super Bowl that is in Levi's Stadium.
You and me both.
Home stadium, home football game. All right, I'll appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.